Welcome back. In this video segment, I'm going to talk a little bit about how to use these lessons more effectively. And this video segment is actually designed for older kids and for more mature students. Well, if you're like me and you grew up in an English-speaking country or in a country where Punjabi was not the primary language, you know what? You might have done the classes but did not get it. I, for one, fit that mold perfectly. In fact, what I found happening for me was I got further and further behind, and I felt like I was being left behind. So that is why I designed these lessons to be a little bit different. And I think what you're going to find is you're going to find these lessons are real easy, and they are a fast way to start to learn your alphabet or your Gurumukhi, and a fast way to learn the language. And here's why. The bottom line is you have the control over the matrix. Okay, what you're going to find is that you will have complete control over how you learn the stuff, and I think you're going to really enjoy that. In fact, what's going to happen is as you start watching the videos and start doing the lessons, you are probably going to impress yourself, because you're going to be like, hey, wow, I did that. That was pretty quick. And that was actually painless. It wasn't as difficult as what I went through when I went through those classes. The other thing you're going to find happening is your friends and your family might notice it, and they're going to ask questions like, hey, how did you do that? Or how did you do that so fast? Or I didn't know you knew that. Or where did you learn that? So keep that in mind. And at that point in time, you can decide whether you want to tell them about these videos or you just want to keep it to yourself. Okay. Earlier, I talked about why the lessons are 5 minutes long, but I'll put it a little bit more in terms of the perspective of a student. Again, the video lessons are only 2 to 5 in length, so that you can actually just watch them whenever you get an opportunity, and you're able to download them to your iPods or to your various devices. The other thing is, you know what? Your attention starts to wander after a few minutes. So if you find that your attention is wandering, just stop the lesson and go do something else. But do your best to sit down for that 2 to 3 minutes and try and absorb everything that is being said in the lesson. Okay? And of course, I know that as a student, if you have got all sorts of other tests and other activities going on, time management is a big issue. And as a result, these lessons will help you to manage your time a little bit better and to fit them in so that things go much smoother for you. Also keep in mind that the 2 to 5 minute video segment allows you to do easy playback and easy review. So do take the opportunity anytime you get to squeeze in a lesson. And if you can, hey, spend half an hour somewhere and do a bunch of these lessons. Okay, earlier I talked about the matrix, okay? And just briefly I had said that the easy stuff, right, the ABCs are all up here. And all the D, E, and F is the more complicated stuff. So if you want to know your lagamatras, go down and the words are further down. And then, of course, the lessons are organized so that they go across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let me take a real live example. Let's say that you just want to review how the letters are written. Well, guess what? All you got to do is go across and do the entire B series. So do 1B, which is haha, 2B, which is rara, and then keep going. 3B, 4B, 5B, all the way up. And you're going to say, oh my goodness, there's like a whole bunch of these and 40 of them. Well, because they're all so short, guess what? You can actually review or learn writing the letters in less than 3 hours, all of them. I suspect you probably know a bunch of them, so you may only have to do a few of those. It's probably going to take you less time. But what you're going to find is if you do it the way I've organized it and presented, you are probably going to remember them for a very, very long time. Okay, what if? What if you want to review the vowels? Guess what, my friends? Go into the D, E, and F. 1D, 1E, 1F, mix and match. Remember, again, the segments are all 3 to 5 minutes long. Do it at your own pace. It's possible that you learned all your lagamatras or your vowels before. Do what it takes to review and do what you need to get done. Okay, what if you want to review your words? Well, go down to the W series. Okay, 1W, 2W, and so on and so on. Keep in mind as you go deeper or across into like the 20s and 30s on the number scale that the words do become a little bit more complicated, and that's done deliberately so that you are kept challenged. Okay, what if you want to review a letter? Take the column 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 1E to do haha, and again, fit what works. Relax and learn. All right. What if you want to review it all? Figure it out. go down, go across, do what you need to do. You already know some of the material, perhaps better than other material. Mix and match, make it work for yourself. All right. What about your environment? Do what you can to find a quiet place and try and sit at the same place each time that you do one of these lessons, and do your best to sit up straight, because studies have shown that you don't really learn a whole lot when you're slouching. Slouching is better for watching TV and wasting time. All right, a quick note on learning. Here's how I like to put it. You ain't gonna ride a bicycle by reading a book. Okay, you do actually have to do things. So if the lesson says listen, then just sit back and listen. Be attentive, but listen. If the lesson says to you, say it out loud, then please say it out loud. Now, people ask me, what if I'm in a public place? Come on, use some common sense. You know, you can whisper it. You don't have to yell. You can whisper. Or you could just mouth the words, but what matters is that you put your body into motion so that you learn a whole lot quicker. And then finally, if it says write it, then write it out loud, okay? With your hands, do the motions. And you know what? If you don't have pen and paper with you, shame on you, but don't let that be an excuse. Do a screen trace, do a table trace with your finger. That's better than sitting and doing absolutely nothing. Okay, quick thought on memory. Here's a guy by the name of Ebbinghaus, and he was a smart guy, and basically what he told us is you forget things. So if I give you a whole bunch of facts, 100 facts, within about an hour, you're going to forget the majority of them. In about 2 to 30 days, guess what? A whole lot more. And trust me, after a year, you ain't gonna remember a whole lot. But what he did also do is he said, look, if you do repetition, then you can overcome this forgetting. And he came up with this little model which says, look, if you do a single repetition, you will stop the fall off in your knowledge. If you do another one, you take it up, 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 up. More repetitions that you do, well, guess what? You can basically remember 100% of anything if you do the right number of repetitions for what you're doing. Okay, so here's a thought for you. Repetition matters in language. I'm not going to say it 2 more times, but I'm going to write it out for you. One of the things I want you to keep in mind is that kids actually remember through repetition. Watch your younger siblings, so your brothers and sisters, and you'll see how they learn. And by the way, that's the same way that adults also learn. So guess what? The more you repeat, the faster you will learn, and the better that you are going to retain the stuff that you have learned. Okay, quick recap. Sit at the same place, same time. Be alert, bring a pen and paper. Keep in mind the lessons are all in number order, mix and match as you need them, and guess what? Since they're less than 5 minutes, usually 3 minutes, you have a whole degree of control over the matrix. And of course, repetition matters. Okay, a final thought for you. So if you have been to other Punjabi lessons, one of the first things you're going to notice is we're not going to follow the traditional format. I'm not going to start at the start like Uda, Erda, Idi, blah, blah, blah. Here's why. That's not how you learned the language when you were little. Nobody ever sat you down and said, okay, little Johnny or little Susie or little Buntu or whatever, let's go and do nothing but all the A words. And I'm going to teach you all the A words till your brain falls apart. No, you learned various words at various speeds, and you started to read and to recognize, to write at an age appropriate time, and that is what really accelerated. So I'm not going to start with Uda, Erda, Idi. I want you to try the format out the way it is organized, and guess what? If it doesn't work for you, then go back to the traditional format, and that's great too. You can learn the old way if you like. Okay. At this point in time, it's the end of the video segment. I'd like to thank you. I want you to have some fun. I would like you to go to video 1A, start learning, start playing with the videos, and start seeing what works for you. At this point in time, I'd like to thank you for your time and for your attention, and I look forward to teaching and learning Punjabi with you. Have an awesome day.